Hello and welcome to the OK Takes podcast. I am Matt, and as always, I'm joined by my fellow capo, Edward. As of 8:59 p.m. West Coast time, history may repeat itself, and that's just how it goes. The Dodgers might fuck around and come back from another 3-1 deficit in the NLCS to the Atlanta Braves. So Edward and I recorded a little bit of a preview before the game. So here it is. Boom. Okay, so if you are listening to us now, hopefully we are going to old takes expose ourselves because we are so down bad right now. Edward texted me this morning, and I wasn't planning on doing this, but then Edward texted me this morning saying, I'm starting to come to terms with the reality of what's going to happen tonight. And last night I was blogging about JT and his injury, and I was like, wow, I'll be honest, I started tearing up. I was like, this is the end. So that's where we're at right now. Full apocalypse, the world is ending. So are you any better since the text you sent me at 7:43 a.m.?
As far as tonight's game goes, no. But the prospect of if we win tonight, thinking about what we have to look forward to for game 6, I'm like, okay, if we can get over the hump of tonight, there's a chance. But I'm like, we're probably not going to get over the hump of tonight. It's like I've got the angel on one shoulder and the devil on one shoulder. That's kind of where I am. The devil is telling me it's a bullpen game. Joe Kelly's starting. We're probably going to lose. But this one's saying if we can just win, we have Max Scherzer for game 6, a fully rested Max Scherzer, and probably Walker Buehler for game 7.
See, it's kind of funny because I have a different mentality heading into this. Is I just want to lose with dignity. So it's like the Titanic. If I'm going to run into an iceberg, that motherfucker better be the greatest iceberg of all time.
Yeah, I mean, and I would obviously root for the Braves if they win this series. I don't want either team to come out. So if we lose and the Braves go on and win, that's fine with me.
Wow. If I could just go back to that version of Matt and Edward and tell them the Dodgers are going to fucking win. Look at those idiots. Oh my God. We are the biggest fucking idiots in the world. Look at us. Look at us now. We're on top of the world.
Yeah, I mean, just got to tell them just 2 words. You got to tell it, well, two names. Chris Taylor. Saved our season once again. He did it in the wild card game. He did it tonight.
Look, Chris Taylor might be the greatest elimination player of all time. Of all time. He has, so his 9 RBIs when facing elimination this year are tied for the 3rd most in a single postseason behind only 2 other schmucks. And he's the first player in postseason history with a 3 home run game when facing elimination.
And to add to that, his 4 total home runs when facing elimination in the postseason are the most in a single postseason ever.
Jesus. There's something about him that everything clicks when we feel like we're dead, or we really feel like we're just going to have to call a catering company, have to decide between chicken or steak for the last meal of our lives for our families and friends, because this is it. We were going into the dirt. We were going to be worm food. There was no way that we were going to win this game.
Especially after that 2-run jack from Freddie Freeman in the first inning. I was like, this, I literally texted you. I was like, that's game. Or I was like, that'll do it. And then what a way to respond, to come back. Pollock had a solo home run and then Taylor a 2-run home run, and we didn't look back from there.
Hit 2 of them things.
But yeah, Pollock ended up with 2, but just to respond in the way that they did was incredible. Chris Taylor has that clutch gene. He has that Mamba mentality.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. We were so down bad. And now we're up. And that first inning of the game, I was like, okay, well, this is officially over. I'm like, because now I'm getting the angst of like, God damn it. Now I got to focus. Now I got to focus on the Lakers. Now I got to go back to USC football. Everything, like I have to start only caring about my bets again. You know, those are going to drive me down in the dirt. But It was wow. First, yeah, let's just go back to the first inning real quick because Joe Kelly, that home run he gave to Freddie Freeman, tattooed.
He put that on a tee. He might as well have thrown a basketball or a beach ball to Freddie Freeman. Like crushed.
Absolutely, absolutely sent that thing flying. Holy shit! Because that moment right there, where it just felt like that was it. That was it because we then have Joe Kelly getting injured, like 2 innings, like 2 batters later, injured, which means I'm bored. Honestly, this sucks. Like you know the episode of South Park where both teams are trying to lose, and
I can honestly say I have never watched a single second of South Park.
all right, well that went nowhere. But pretty much the premise is both. It's just a joke about how boring baseball is. So both teams are trying to lose, and they can't. Like it's a game of who can lose, not who could win, because they just want to stop playing baseball. Joe Kelly really just stopped wanting to play baseball.
Yeah, I don't believe that he was hurt. He'll be ready to go for game 6. If he does actually get removed from the roster, I'll be shocked. But yeah, like we said, like it felt like everything that could have gone wrong, especially like in earlier games, everything that could have gone wrong in this series went wrong. And that's how tonight started.
Mm-hmm.
You never want to start an elimination game, especially at home, with the other team scoring in the first inning and taking the crowd out of it, because you kind of feel like a 2-0 lead is like a 6-0 lead at that point. But they responded. They didn't let it get to their heads. They kept their wits about them, and we know what happened.
Yeah, because then we have the 3-run inning in the bottom of the second, and we just start rolling from there.
Yeah, I mean, like, man, like you just go up and down this box score. Every starter in the lineup reached base tonight. You know, Betts had a hit. Turner had 3 hits. Trey Turner had 3 hits. Like, alert the presses. Corey Seager had a hit. Will Smith had a walk. Pollock had 3 hits. Pujols had 2 hits. Taylor 4. Bellinger. So you just go down the line. Everyone was getting on. Their approach at the plate was so much better. So much better.
Yeah, I want to touch on Trey Turner a little because he did a really genius thing and snuck out a really, really good game in what appears to be the beginning of the crazy crescendo of us heading into the World Series. It's pretty much great advice into if you're ever going to break up with someone, make sure you're really good before you actually make sure you're the best boyfriend in the world before you break up with them. So it doesn't seem like you're a major douchebag.
Yeah, I mean, if he can get hot, I don't want to say it.
Look, we're in. I have no problem saying like buying myself back in and then getting hurt because I'd much rather lose in dramatic I'd much rather lose in dramatic fashion if it goes into the 6th game or the 7th game than to lose tonight and have it be like a 5-1 loss.
I don't know. I'm someone who has suffered a lot of dramatic losses for a lot of my sports teams. Jalen Suggs, Rams Saints, Viking Saints.
You're a Saints fan. Literally single.
I'm not a fan of dramatic losses, but obviously I would rather have them fight to see another game than just go out in 5.
Mm-hmm. That's where, and I'm buying right back in. Because I can survive I've already died, then come back to life. You're looking at the ghost of me. I am Michael Myers.
Yeah, we thought we were toast. Like you said, a dead dog when you see it, and we were a dead dog. We were dead in the water. And it took a historic postseason performance from Chris Taylor to rise us from our ashes and just keep us going, man. I mean, I can't overstate how much, how amazing Chris Taylor has been for us this postseason.
Mm-hmm. And kind of a slap in the face by TBS to start playing the Reggie Jackson highlights of his World Series game. You could have held off on that because I don't know if you realize this, but the team you were celebrating in the current moment is the team that Reggie Jackson hit 3 ding dongs off of, and one of the most tragic moments in Dodgers history. I would say tragic, but one of the most embarrassing moments in Dodgers history.
If this doesn't prove further that TBS is so anti-Dodgers, then I don't know what else it's going to take.
Are we ready for a TBS rant?
I think it's that time of the podcast.
Okay. You want to go?
I'll start. I'll start. I mean, it's been this whole series that they have been horrible, but tonight they were saying some very questionable things about why the Dodgers were throwing a bullpen game tonight. Dustin May's been hurt since May. Trevor Bauer's a shithead. Clayton Kershaw's hurt. And David Price isn't even on the roster. And when he was, he sucked. So
David Price wasn't that bad, but you don't want to start David Price in the playoffs. It was the most bizarre thing I was ever hearing, because I think what happens with a lot of the big broadcast guys is they just have pages upon pages of paper, like just binders of stats given to them. And already as it is, it doesn't seem like they're like Rain Man who can just memorize stats on the fly. So their brains are just scrunched with numbers, and they're not able to fit in everything else. So they're just going to have this random opinion that they have going into it. They're like, oh yeah, David Price. I remember when he was a Cy Young candidate, and when he won the Cy Young, when he was on the Rays, and his peak was in 2012. So I don't think their brains are capable of having new information inserted in there and being open to realizing that, oh yeah, this guy kind of has some gray hair in his beard. This is somebody who the Dodgers used in bullpen games, but realized that, hey, he's just not going to be able to cut it in the playoffs. And the fact that they don't have the wherewithals of this makes me feel like my dad could broadcast for them. If there's ever a time where the broadcasters are saying the same thing as your dad on the couch, that's how you know they're doing a bad job.
Yeah, that's how you know they probably shouldn't be the ones calling the game.
Yeah, no, if the broadcasters are saying the same cliches as your parents, it's not a good sign.
No.
Bad sign. And then we have to talk about the Lux. It's defamation if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, they were not kind to him. They painted him as the GOAT of that game. But was he really?
Oh, I mean, it was like a ringing endorsement of Gavin Lux doesn't pay his taxes. He beats his wife. He throws change at homeless men. He spits on the homeless.
Yeah, I mean, you would have thought he... No, never mind. I'm going to bite my tongue. I'm going to bite my tongue on what I was about to say. But yeah, it was a little unfair how they were treating him.
Mm-hmm. Because he dropped a fly ball, but the ending situation of it wasn't that crazy. There was a runner on first, and then it made it runners on second and third. So yeah, it was bad, but Buehler still has to execute the pitches after that. But they just went pan after pan. What was the Michael Scott? Pam, 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 pam. That was like, but it's just camera. It was like pan, pan, pan. Do we have Lux? Okay, do we have Lux looking really sad in the lineup? All right, cut to camera 2. Do we have Lux looking like he wants to end it all? Okay, cut camera 3. And so before the belly bomb, Will Smith hit a single into left field. That's what started the whole rally in the bottom of the 8th. And I kid you not, less than 2 seconds later, went right to Lux in the dugout. Give the guy a fucking break.
I know. And shout out to Walker Buehler. I know you tweeted out the clip for sticking up for his guy in the post-game presser. That was awesome.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, he has a big neck already, so why not stick it out for Lux? I mean, side note, he has Mike Glennon written all over him. He's like the sandwich between Davis Mills and Mike Glennon.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like Drew Brees' neck in that one hit.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Yeah, but TBS has just been so bad. So
am I weird for saying I want it to get to the World Series so we can have Joe Buck and Fox.
I don't mind. Look, after hearing those guys, I think anybody's better.
Yeah, I think I agree, especially Ron Darling.
Painful, painful. So bad. I mean, it just because I'll be honest, I I feel like I should be more excited for these games, but having to hear them broadcast kills that joy.
Yeah, and I mean, hearing how pro Braves they are just makes me want to mute my TV.
It's literally the only network that was broadcasting like specifically like one team's baseball games, and they are like, I mean, it's just written all over the wall.
Yeah, they clearly they said, "Oh, we're gonna broadcast the game on TBS, but we're gonna have the Atlanta Braves crew do all 7 games."
Because it's literally the Atlanta Braves former station.
And I mean, we could have had Joe Davis, and we all know he's the best. He's never really biased when he has to do national TV games.
That's the one thing you can't criticize him of.
Yep.
You could say he's boring. You could say whatever you want, but he's pretty even. There's never, like during last year's playoffs, even though he literally was the Dodgers play-by-play guy, you can never say that he was pulling for them.
He just nails the moments. He knows he is an expert. He knows what he's doing.
Jesus. I mean, I would rather listen to the full message of the calls when it's following up on your car's extended warranty than Ron Darling.
And who's the third guy they brought in for the CS?
Jeff Francoeur.
Yeah, they call him Frenchie. Like, God, every time they say Frenchie, I die a little bit inside.
Oh my God, they're so trash. But back to the actual Dodgers. We are so are you deep? Because I'm like balls deep into the fact that the Dodgers are going to a World Series. I don't know what's going to happen in the World Series, but I'm going to say it. The Dodgers are going to the World Series because literally, like, I died last night, but now I came back to life. So I'm 100% okay with going all in. Because what am I going to do? Be miserable and have my teeth pulled till the finish line? No, fuck that. I had my teeth pulled last night, so I don't have any teeth left to pull.
Am I back fully? Man, it's tough not to be. It's tough not to be when you have. Look, this obviously was a must-win game because it literally was. But when you think about it now, it's like we have, you could argue, the 2 best big game pitchers in the league lined up for Game 6 and Game 7. What more could you ask for? Exactly. It's really just going to come down. Can the offense repeat what they did tonight? Can they do what they did in game 3? Can they get big hits when they need to? That, like, I trust that the pitching staff with Max Scherzer and with Walker Buehler are going to keep the Braves at bay. Can the offense do it? That's the only thing holding me back. Is we've seen these spurts before. They scored 9 runs in Game 2 in San Francisco, came out in Game 3 and lost 1-0. So it's like, can they consistently score runs? That's the only thing holding me back from being all in.
Fuck it. I'm all like I said, I'm all in. I think they will. I don't think we're gonna get a 3 home run game as CT3, and then we're gonna have AJ Pollock.
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
At this point, it wouldn't shock me.
Okay. But yeah, so we're gonna have 5 home runs from 2 guys. Well, it's probably not gonna happen, but I still think we are more than capable of scoring 6-7 runs.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be the key. Does the offense hit with runners on? Do they put up run? Like, do they put up runs? Can they kill them with singles? That's what they said about Game 5 against the Giants. We want to go out there and kill them with singles. And I mean, I guess that's not really what they did tonight, but can they just shorten up and not try to go for the fences every time and just get productive outs and manufacture runs? I think that's the biggest question going back to Atlanta.
Yeah. So we will have to wait and see. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining us on the OK Takes podcast. If you would like to follow myself on social media, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MattWeiner20. If you'd like to follow Edward on his social media on Instagram and Twitter, you can find him at Edward_Vento. But if you have no care in the world for anything we have to say about the world of sports, then make sure to follow OK Takes on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at OK Takes Pod. That is OKAY Takes Pod. Takes 2 seconds and would help us tremendously. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and see you in the World Series.